Hey, just a quick little 3 or 4 minute blurb here. I've been watching a lot of YouTube last few days. I've got some downtime finally, getting some rest, going through my hard drives, trying to crank out some old videos and just, get that stuff edited, posted, and in the history books. But noticed there's a growing trend of videos. So started like today, I saw Rob's Coffee, I think. He was talking about World Zoom. And then he went on and talked about somebody having trouble getting a driver's license. And then I went to watch World Zoom's video, and it's pretty interesting what he had to say. I'm not a big fan of his. I'm not a big proponent of his. I'm not a big detractor of his. I do think the way he portrayed himself and some of the information that he presented seemed a little misleading, to be kind. And I don't really care for people that intentionally try to mislead me. I have a lot of compassion for people who, raise their hand and said, yeah, I did this stupid and, I'm not that person anymore. But when you do something stupid and you try to mislead me, it kind of makes me think you're still in that let me do something stupid phase. But his story, or the beginning of his story, was pretty interesting. So I'm looking at the Philippines stopped doing the 6-month visas. Can't get a driver's license without an ACR card and a 6-month visa. They're doing this stuff online, all of World Zoom's problems. And I'm wondering if long-term tourists are no longer welcome in the Philippines. I wonder if this is a subtle way to crack down on their stay 3 years, or if this is a subtle way to filter those people much better, or just kind of what their goals and objectives are. It's definitely been a shift online to see people talk about these issues, and not a lot have, but you got to imagine only a few have bumped up against this so far. But I'm curious what people that have been doing the 3 years and visa run routine think. Having that guy land in jail, Zoom talks about a guy that he was in jail with who was there on a 9-year overstay. Now, I just think that's silly. And I think, if you're planning on doing that, be careful what beds you make. Be careful what seeds you plant, because that's a bed I wouldn't lay in and a seed I wouldn't want to eat the fruit of. But I'm just curious what these more experienced and inexperienced people who are on that long-term, 2-3 years to a visa run plan think about all this. And do they, do you think it's a significant shift? Do you think it's a categorical change? Do you think it's a filtering process? Do you think it's a process to, change the perception of the Philippines around the world? Do you think YouTubers and specifically are at risk of negative ramifications? I mean, if you listen to World Zoom, well, go listen to it yourself. I'm not gonna try and put words in his mouth with my memory, but it didn't sound like a fun time. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it sounded like if you ended up in that situation, might be a really bad scenario for you. So just curious what the thoughts are out there, what people think. I do know I've seen a couple articles and I think it was the Filipina P with JR was talking about how there was some rumors or scuttlebutt or something that they wanted to try and start cracking down on foreigners who were there on a tourist visa and working at local places. I think that's an area of concern for some people, or if you're trying to run a business or run a charity without a paperwork, like some of the dudes in Duma were doing, in Dramageddon. So I'm just curious. I haven't heard any big stories coming out of Dramageddon. And I think that would be one of the, Dramageddon or Angeles City would be one of the first 2 places to really see some significant impacts if this is a categorical change. So if you're planning on going there in the next few years, I'd keep an eye on this. If you're there now, I would definitely keep an eye on this. And it's always better to be a step ahead of the game. You don't want to end up, you don't want to be the last man standing when, it's not walking around grabbing a seat in a chair when it's getting on a plane, getting out. You don't want to be the last guy sitting at the airport waiting for the next plane. Believe me, been there, done that. And it's no fun. It's no fun at all sitting around after all your friends have left and you're just sitting there waiting to catch a free ride home. Not a fun thing to do. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to, I don't know, nothing, chilling, relaxing, getting some sleep, putting my feet up, enjoying having my big mug back in my hand. But y'all take care.